Welcome back to Demystifying the USALI. You are now on the fifth video of this series. Here we will focus on part 3 of the USALI, financial ratios and operating metrics. This section is brimming with in-depth information, including formulas and tables tailored to present your operational data effectively. This overview outlines the main categories covered. However, it is strongly recommended that you consult the USALI book or delve into one of the USALI courses offered by the HFTP Academy for optimal understanding. In our role as financial managers, a quick perusal of the income statement often invokes a sense of relief when profits stand evident. Swiftly, the statement is filed away. After all, as managers, the demands of being on the floor, engaging with guests, and overseeing employees require our immediate attention. However, a profound understanding of these statements demands more than a cursory glance. It necessitates interpreting the reported figures to extract insights into the property's financial status and operational nuances, aspects that might otherwise go unnoticed. This is precisely where financial ratios and operating metrics offer a comprehensive lens. By scrutinizing related figures, these tools unearth substantive insights. At its core, a ratio signifies the relationship between two figures, achieved by dividing one by the other. Ratio analysis empowers us to benchmark against fellow properties, industry benchmarks, historical ratios, and planned targets. This analytical process is immeasurably valuable, potentially uncovering issues that warrant further investigation and corrective measures. Consequently, ratios and metrics were incorporated into the USALI framework for many reasons. Overall, the USALI encapsulates a wealth of financial insights through ratios and metrics. In Part 3, the USALI guides us through 5 pivotal categories of operating metrics related to rooms department operations, food and beverage department operations, health club and spa, parking and utilities, refuse, and waste metrics. The scope of this course will provide you with a general overview of what you will find here and how it can be used. Let's begin by delving into a few illustrative examples from the Rooms Department Operating Metrics segment. Upon delving into the book or completing one of the USALI courses, you will truly appreciate Part 3's array of formulas and tables. The Rooms Department Operating Metrics section kicks off by examining the components comprising room inventory and the various guest types. The subsequent presentation and metric calculations gain clarity by establishing a foundation of terms. While a hotel room may seem uniform, its status warrants different labels. Firstly, the entire inventory is divided into available rooms for sale and unavailable. Now, let's discuss rooms that are not available for sale. These rooms fall into 3 main categories: seasonal closures, extended closures, and rooms reserved for permanent house use, rendering them unavailable for sale. The classification of hotel rooms is a nuanced process. To begin with, we encounter seasonally closed rooms. These are rooms that remain closed for a minimum of 30 consecutive days due to seasonal demand fluctuations. Importantly, this classification applies only when rooms consistently follow this pattern year after year. Moving on, we come across extended closed rooms. These are rooms withdrawn from sellable inventory for a duration of 6 months or longer. This classification encompasses scenarios such as rooms damaged by natural disasters like hurricanes, earthquakes, or fires, where restoration is planned to return the rooms to sellable status. Lastly, there are rooms for permanent house use. These rooms are temporarily removed from the inventory for at least 6 consecutive months to accommodate hotel employees, such as a manager's apartment. It's worth noting that these definitions serve as a comprehensive guide and prove to be a valuable training tool for new hotel employees. Transitioning to rooms available for sale, we encounter the division into occupied and vacant categories. Within vacant rooms, there are 3 distinct subcategories. The first involves out-of-order rooms, which are temporarily unavailable due to maintenance requirements. The second category is temporary closed rooms. These rooms are excluded from the sellable inventory for a period of less than 6 consecutive months, serving as a discretionary measure. Lastly, the third subcategory is vacant rooms, referring to rooms unoccupied by paying or complimentary guests. Collectively, these subcategories constitute the entire count of vacant rooms. Shifting our attention to occupied rooms, they are divided into 2 main categories: those generating revenue, and those designated for complimentary guests. Complimentary rooms occupied represent rooms provided free of charge for marketing or other purposes. This extends to include rooms allocated to owners, employees, or individuals on familiarization trips. Subsequently, we have rooms sold for revenue, which are further classified into 3 distinct categories. Transient rooms sold refers to rooms individually sold to guests. Group rooms sold refers to rooms sold as part of a group booking involving 10 or more rooms. And contract rooms sold involves rooms sold under specialized, often longer-term contracts. Once we are familiar with the segmentation of rooms, it becomes clear that it follows a logical path. There are 4 primary types of guests. Transient guests, who purchase rooms individually. Contract guests associated with extended agreements. Group guests part of larger bookings. And complimentary guests, who receive free rooms for various reasons. This quartet encapsulates the total guest count. The meticulous breakdown of these room and guest classifications can be found within Part 3 of the USALI. This section, however, represents just one aspect of the comprehensive metrics extensively covered in the USALI framework. This underlines the significant value offered by the information in the book and the accompanying courses. Having established the foundational definitions, we now focus on the practical application of these concepts, specifically through the lens of formulas. We begin this journey by exploring the initial formulas that revolve around a critical metric, occupancy. Occupancy is a measure of how effectively a hotel uses its room inventory. This metric is a cornerstone for evaluating how efficiently rooms are utilized. The calculation involves dividing the total number of rooms sold by the available rooms and then multiplying the result by 100 to express it as a percentage. In the world of hospitality, this metric takes on added significance due to its direct impact on optimizing revenue. Moving beyond a broad look at occupancy, hotel managers take a more sophisticated approach by categorizing guests into 4 distinct groups. This approach allows for a more detailed understanding of the hotel's performance. For example, tracking the complementary occupancy percentage becomes crucial if the concern is managing complementary rooms wisely. In this scenario, the calculation changes by using the number of occupied complementary rooms as the numerator and the total number of rooms sold as the denominator. By adjusting the numerator for each category, we arrive at a customized occupancy percentage calculation, offering detailed insights into the performance of each guest segment. Enhancing the significance of the occupancy metric is the average length of stay. This metric holds immense importance. It's derived from the ratio of occupied rooms to arrivals, encompassing both paid and complimentary check-ins. Grasping the average length of stay becomes pivotal for effectively managing revenue strategies, allowing the hotel to optimize room sales. For a deeper understanding of these metrics and the accompanying tables, refer to the USALI book, as it provides significant detail. Within the USALI framework, you will also find an overview of the 4 financial fundamental ratio categories: liquidity, solvency, activity, and profitability. Let's embark on our exploration with the first category, liquidity. Liquidity ratios gauge a property's capacity to meet its short-term obligations. A relatively low current ratio might be preferable if you're an owner or shareholder. Now, you might wonder, is higher not always better? But that's not the case. Considering the makeup of current assets, tying up funds in assets like cash or inventory might not be as productive as investing in long-term assets. Therefore, current assets tend to be lower in the hotel industry, resulting in lower liquidity ratios. On the other hand, creditors generally favor higher current ratios, as this signifies the property's ability to fulfill short-term obligations. Balancing these considerations, management seeks to maintain working capital and liquidity that pleases both owners and creditors, ensuring seamless operations. Delving into the specifics, the USALI presents 4 liquidity ratios: current ratio, acid test ratio, accounts receivable turnover, and average collection period. Moving to the second category, solvency ratios, we assess the extent of debt financing that the property has employed to acquire assets or finance the business. These ratios offer insights into the property's ability to service long-term debt. Owners perceive solvency ratios as indicators of financial leverage, often favoring lower ratios to magnify the return on equity through judicious use of debt. On the other hand, creditors prefer higher solvency ratios, which act as a safety net against potential operating losses. Management faces the delicate task of balancing owner interests in boosting returns with creditor concerns about meeting long-term commitments. Within this category, the USALI discusses 4 solvency ratios, with the first aptly named the solvency ratio. The other 3, namely the debt yield ratio, debt equity ratio, and debt service coverage ratio, are elaborated upon with illustrative examples. The third facet of analysis, activity ratios, examines management's prowess in generating earnings while catering to guests. It gauges how effectively resources are employed. Among these ratios, the USALI emphasizes the inventory turnover ratio, with a specific focus on food inventory turnover. Lastly, we delve into the profitability category. Profitability ratios offer a yardstick for management and owners to benchmark their profit performance against competitors, past performance, or budget projections. These ratios provide a panoramic view of management's efficacy in delivering the desired bottom-line figures expected by stakeholders. Ratios and metrics seamlessly bridge the gap between raw financial details and meaningful insights. Their strategic application empowers professionals to comprehend and analyze financial information and effectively communicate it. This communication, in turn, underpins the formulation of informed decisions that steer business success. Hence, it's no surprise that the authors of the USALI have thoughtfully dedicated an entire section of the book to these indispensable tools. Acquiring a deep understanding of financial ratios and unraveling the intricate content of financial statements can transform your management capabilities and significantly bolster organizational performance. The USALI framework arms you with these insights so you can precisely decipher your organization's financial health, making informed decisions that align with strategic goals. This proficiency in financial analysis translates into a more effective management approach, as you can identify areas of improvement, allocate resources optimally, and strategically plan for growth. As you embark on your journey to harness the value of the USALI, remember that one final video awaits your exploration. This video delves into recognizing unique aspects associated with revenue recognition and lets you know where you can find answers to frequently asked questions about the USALI. Ways you can continue to enhance your proficiency in the USALI and benchmarking of financial information are also presented. Additionally, it offers a sneak peek into the topics under consideration for the forthcoming edition, promising a continuation of this journey of growth and insight.